In this video, we are going to look at uploading scanned invoice documents into Eldermark Financials. Now you'll see I'm on the bills and adjustment screen, and I've already entered an AP bill for $145.21. Now I've also got, if I go over to my Windows file browser, I've got a PDF file called phone bill. Let's take a look at it. Here's a sample monthly statement or invoice for $145.21. Now I want to take this and I want to move it into Eldermark Financials. So to do that, all I need to do is hold down my left mouse button on the file and drag it onto the Eldermark Financials screen and then let go of my left mouse button. Now before I actually do that, you'll notice in the upper right hand corner that it says Files next to the Help, but it just says Files, there's nothing after it. As soon as I release my left mouse button, which I'll do right now, you can see there's now a number 1 in parentheses after the files. And that's telling me how many file attachments there are on this particular AP bill. Now, not only can I upload PDF files, I could also do pretty much any file type I'd like. So I've got another file here that's a picture, JPEG. I can drag that one down as well. And you notice the files in the upper right hand corner will now say 2. And then I could even do an Excel file. I don't know why I would attach a payroll journal entry, but just to show you that I could do an Excel file, oops, there we go. Let's drag that one on there. And now I've got 3 file attachments. So I can upload as many file attachments as I'd like, different types of files. I recommend PDF just because they tend to be smaller files than the picture versions. Like if you take a picture of an invoice with your phone, that's going to be a fairly large file, and it's just going to take a little longer for the system to retrieve it every time. But you can do it if you'd like. I recommend doing PDF if you can. Now also to note, this I'm just using a local Windows file folder, but this could be an FTP site or some share folder that maybe your printer, scanner, copier machine is already set to scan invoices into. So what you could do is you could start with an empty folder. You could scan all those documents in while you're at the scanner and then come back to your computer. You would see all the documents listed here, and then you would drag them in one by one to the different AP bills, and once you drag them in, you could just delete them out of that what's kind of acting like a pending file document folder. And you can delete them because once the file's been dragged into Eldermark Financials has its own version of the file. It doesn't have to go back to the folder to find it. So I can go in here, even though I've deleted it from my local folder, I can come up here to Files, and I can open that phone bill because I'm now opening the Eldermark Financials copy of that document. Also note that I can attach files to an AP bill regardless of what the status is. So mine's on hold. It could be balanced, could be open, could even be closed. And just to show you that, I'll go back to a closed document. So this one's already been fully paid. It's completely closed down. It's a really old document, but maybe I forgot to attach a file to it. In this case, you'll see I do have 1 file attachment, but I'll go ahead and just show that I can still, oops, let me go back here. I can still drag another file attachment, or maybe I didn't have any and I want to drag the first one on there, even though it has a status of closed. It's been already paid. So you can come back in later and attach a scanned document if you forgot to without any problem. What you do need though is you need a reference number. So it does have to be a saved transaction if you're going to attach a file to it. If I were to go in and do a new transaction, pick my vendor, and put in maybe some random vendor invoice number, you'll see right now my reference number is new. If I come back to my Windows file browser and I try to drag a file on here, you'll see I get a message that says the changes need to be saved. Do you want to proceed? So it has to save my document in order to attach a file to it. So I have to click OK. You'll see it does save for me, gives me a reference number, and attached my document. So that means in order to save it, you do have to fill in the required fields. So I have to put in the vendor, which defaults the location and the terms, and I do have to put in the vendor reference or vendor invoice number in order to attach a document, because it has to save and you have to fill in the required fields in order to save. But you'll notice I do not have to put in the line information. So I could just put in the required fields, get it to save, attach the document, and then come back in later and put in the line information.